Remember, this is really for Joe, but remember, Joe, you'll have to switch your URLs back to the virtual flight ones. It won't affect you. The new version just lets people run their own server, so you can repoint where it's sending its data on the internet. Just setting up the live stream. Evening. Evening. I've got a cup. I was just following the instructions from Emmanuel. I went and got all the downloads he wanted. It's the first time I've done everything instructed, so. Just trying to think what I need to do to make the volumes not play havoc with it. I need to turn flight sim down. I'll leave it here for the moment. I haven't actually looked at the weather yet to see what the weather's doing. The flight plan looks crazy, doesn't it? So if anybody's got the live stream open on YouTube, I'm sat at the edge of the airfield on the grass with my tent and chair and barbecue out. So I can see which way the wind's blowing from the smoke from the barbecue. Yeah, my pilot will be complaining that he smells of bonfire. It's the Parallel 42 make an add-on. You can get it from Orbex, called the Campfire Utility, or Camp Out Utility, I think it's called. It's very funny. I'll if anyone's never seen this, I'll have a quick look at it before everybody arrives. So you can basically set up your campsite however you want, and you can add numerous things to it, like dogs and coolers and lights, and you know, if you're in the snow, there's snow buckets and boots and cylinders and all sorts of stuff, jerry cans. So you could make quite the impact on the environment. So we can put where's a dog? Where's a decent dog? Where is it? There's a Labrador here somewhere. Oh, it's a German Shepherd, that'll do. So if I put the German Shepherd just to the aeroplane side of the chair, facing the other way. There we go, he's facing the camera. Yeah, it won't appear for anybody that hasn't got it. If I make my camera slow down a bit, then I can have a pan around. But you can have sleeping bags and all kinds of rubbish. VirtualFlight.Online/send.php. That's the one that needs to go inside transmitter. Or just /send. There's actually a file in the web server that means it will substitute PHP on automatically. Yes, send, S-E-N-D. So https://virtualflight.online/send.php. Evening. It's VirtualFlight.Online /send.php. I think all that means is it's connected to the sim. It could be sending stuff out into the nowhere. Yeah, so if people can see Joe, sorry, Emmanuel. Are you talking about LittleNavMap? That's a different URL. Oh god, this is going to be a nightmare, isn't it? If anyone's been tinkering with the stuff, they're going to break everything. Maya. I will put in the events chat channel, so there's a little speech bubble when you hover the mouse over events chat in Discord. I will put the two URLs in here. Okay, I'll carry on with this quietly. If anyone else wants to talk, go for it. Okay. Evening. It is. In the right-hand margin of GitHub, there's a release version. The only difference, that's the big change that's happened to transmitter, because as you've probably seen on recent flights, or if you've tried to use it for ATC purposes, once it gets up to around 60 people using it simultaneously, it tends to run out of steam on the web server. And it starts to lag badly for some people, not for others. And so it's kind of a victim of its own success, really. So what I've done is made it all open source, and anybody can go and install it and run their own copy of transmitter on their own server, which is exactly what Maya have done. So they've got their own instance of it. So the new version of the transmitter program, all it really does is lets you set the URL of where you're sending the data on the internet. As far as I'm aware, Maya are the only people to have their own server so far. Yeah, they have I never talked about My Air on the channel before? I'm not sure if I have or not. So they run twice a week, pretty much like clockwork, big jet flights, and they simulate air traffic control, but in a much more friendly way than VATSIM might do it. So, you know, if you make a mistake, you're just more likely to get laughter rather than being written up for it. So, yeah, My Air, if you search them online, is myair-virtual. Their website is quite problematic because it's on HTTP, not HTTPS. But that may be changing soon, I'm not sure. But yeah, they have their own Discord server. And there's no requirement to actually join the virtual airline there. You can join the group flights, and they'd be happy to have you. But if you've got, you know, a little bit of experience even of radio telephony, then you'll be fine immediately. If you haven't, they'll be happy for you to sit in and just listen in on a flight. You know, to get the idea of it before you jump in and start talking. The first time I ever did a flight with them, I think I was flying the X-Plane 737 back in the day, and I had all the intentions of sitting in and just listening in, and the controller called me and said, do you want to start your engines then? And that was the end of that. So basically I toodled along in that first ever flight at the back of the pack. There was probably 8 people on that night, maybe 10. And I listened to their communications with the tower and basically copied them. I made sense of what they were saying and copied what they were saying. And I got away with it, basically. Yeah, and that explains a lot, doesn't it? Anyway, I should probably hand over to Emmanuel, because this is his flight this evening.
Into the runway on Charlie because I went across the grass through a ditch and somersaulted.
Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, Joe.
Hi, Alice.
Hi, Alice.
Joe to you.
Good morning, Alice.
8:49 a.m. Monday, the 29th of June.
Hi, Alice.
Hi, Jonathan.
January,
Yeah,
not June.
January. Heading for 26 degrees today. Lovely.
So, on a different topic,
I've noticed recently, when I fly due north, say with heading hold, in LittleNavMap I'm flying at about 10 degrees, 15 degrees west of north. Anybody say why that might be?
Have you tried pressing... What aeroplane are you flying in, by the way?
This is the Cub, but it does it on pretty much everything I've noticed recently. Certainly on the group flights I've noticed it. Because I usually circle around like north, west, south, east, and I've noticed that the axes are all off. It's a bit weird.
So you mean the aeroplane's crabbing?
No, I'm flying.
So you're saying your compass is out in the aeroplane?
It seems to be. I've done the D to do the drift.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to suggest.
Where's my magnetic compass thing in this?
It's not to do with the magnetic stroke, deviation.
The deviation, maybe.
You like I did on my boat, put a set of magnetic screwdrivers in by the compass.
Yeah, I'm crabbing a little bit, but not like 15 degrees. It's strange. I'll look it up. It's not a problem. I'm flying in the right direction. Actually, that'll be interesting to see when I get on the actual path plan. See if it doesn't match what the track of the course says.
Doesn't it press in D?
Yeah, I've done that. Usually my default, as soon as I get in, press B and the D.
Time of day. Has anybody got a recommended time of day?
11 a.m. Jonathan. What a manual set is to.
Yeah, 11:15 is quite okay.
Have you got on a few clouds or something like that?
I was just scrolling through the value thing. I have one setting, but I'm not sure if it comes with maybe an add-on. So yeah, few clouds is quite good, and if there are too many clouds, then we will shift to clear skies. But few clouds is okay. This island has a volcanic base, so climate is very different on one side and the other of the island, and the highest mountain is almost 9,000 feet. So some of the clouds can get attached to the mountains, or to the volcanoes, I should say. So we'll still wait 2 minutes for the introduction. In the meantime, if you have connected, we will take off from runway 14. Obviously, with the X-Cup, you don't need the whole runway to take off. But we are all gathering currently at the start of runway 14.
I can't see you on LittleNavMap, people. I think is that a transmitter that I did wrong?
What URL have you got in LittleNavMap? I posted the URLs in the event chat, so in the event voice channel, if you click on the speech bubble at the top of the event chat channel, you'll see the
open chat, yes?
Yeah, and in the margin you'll see I've put the two URLs, the one for transmitter and the one for LittleNavMap, in case you need it.
Okay.
Yeah, Manuel.
Yes.
Is it just small aircraft like two-seaters will do this evening?
I'm afraid you will crash in the mountain if you try with a Hawk. It's quite a challenge. Some of the path will take are a kind of mini Mach loop, I would say. So you can try. Tell me if it works.
Roger, thank you.
So if we hear a bang, we know who caused it.
No, you don't hear the sonic booms.
The goal is to do this first on the DX Cub, and after you can try and go up in a faster aircraft. I did it with the PC-21. It was quite fun. But
Just before joining, I was watching a video on YouTube about flying around in a gyrocopter around for reunion, and I was thinking, with that new Got Friends one that was done for charity, that'd be quite cool. Everyone's heard of that?
I've seen
probably
it.
the tour of the island are mostly done with helicopters. The two main airfields where we're gonna have when we take off and when we'll do the stop. All the other one you will see are more very light aircraft, small runways, and mostly they use the helicopters for the tour of the island. Okay, so let's start for the quick briefing. Welcome everyone if you have joined this group for the first time. We do group flight every week on Sunday and also on the Monday. General rule is very simple. Please use push to talk to avoid jamming everyone, and please no bad language and no subject like religion or other things that could be sensitive. We are here just to have fun and spend a good moment together, so keep the language family friendly, please. So tonight we're going to tour around La Réunion Island, which is a French overseas territory, which was discovered basically at the same time of America. It dates back to 15 something. And this is now a French territory since almost four centuries. We're going to have a full tour of the island. The flight plan I have compiled is made so that please just follow the exact position of the waypoint. Then you will have the maximum dramatic effect with the fantastic scenery we're going to tour around. Simply you can follow the pack if you just want to look each time. My name tag in the game is Flying Mr. O. If you want to be in front of me, there is no problem at all. I will just try to follow exactly the path because there are great things to see on this island. The city we are taking off is the main city on the island, Saint-Denis. So this is the main airport when all the tourist flights are coming. Tourism is today the primary resource for this island, and I will give more indication of what happened and what is done on this island along the flight.
Thank you very much.
If you like concrete and tarmac, please have a close look now, because the next time we're gonna see tarmac or concrete will be the mid-flight pose.
That's right.
And for those of you, I don't know if you're not familiar with the X-Cub or the NX Cub, I will give some indication for the few legs where you absolutely need to climb, otherwise you will hit the mountain. So there are a few spots where we need to climb quite high, but I will give an indication. And on the opposite, there are one or two locations where you have the opportunity to go under bridges. So if you want to try, feel free, I will indicate them.
The flight plan is the Roland Garros plan?
Yeah, the starting is Roland Garros, yes. Same name as the tennis plant in Paris. Fox, Mike, Echo, Echo.
I'm thinking the compass thing is because we're so far south, would that have an effect and make the compass heading appear off? If anybody that's in the air wants to fly due east, then tell me if they look like they're flying due east or west or north on the map.
It says that the magnetic declination is 19.1 degrees west.
Right, that would make sense. That's about what I'm saying.
Well,
So
in the
that's
Hawk,
about-
my east compass is going east as well as my nav display, so
Oh, it all
all looks aligned here.
It all looks correct on the nav display, but if I actually look at my tracking map, I'm going, like saying 19 degrees west of whatever bearing.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's the declination according to the magnetic. Yeah, that's normal.
Good. I was thinking,
Okay.
I realised I've noticed it because it was I'm doing the South America tour at the moment as well, so it's not, it's not a general problem. Good.
8 o'clock UTC, so we can take off. So no need to fly very high. We can. The goal is to stay quite close to the ground. So typically 500 feet above ground.
Have you been to this island, Mary?
Not in real life. Not in real life, unfortunately. I have some friend of my family who live there, so it's still in the list. It's a great place to go hiking.
Well, this is the second best anyway, isn't it? Just to see the island, I mean. Scenery is immaculate.
So the first waypoint on the horizon is a collection of wind turbine.
500.
So just aim for them and I will circle so that we can stay globally together. And when you reach the wind turbine, you just follow the alignment of wind turbine to your right. And so, by the way, the wind turbine is quite recent, and it's an island which still rely mostly on oil for anything that is power related. They have installed wind turbines and a few hydroelectrical installation, but globally it's still out of oil and coal that we are making electricity over there. There is no nuclear plant on the island.
Must have been quite an expedition when they were on the sailing and found this island.
Yeah, it was spot actually when they were trying to find a maritime route to India. So it's claimed to be discovered by Portuguese people, but it was just a stop basically in the middle of the ocean. And it's after the French people took over the island, they decided to put settlers over there, only 20 people at the beginning. So there was no local inhabitants. It was really an empty rock in the middle of the sea.
Incredible.
And and it's part of three. I mean, it's a group of islands. They call them Mascareña, I think, which groups are Réunion Island, Mauritius, and Rodrigue, which is the last of the three, and they're all in the same region of the Indian Ocean. Some turbulence here.
And out of interest, I looked at quite a few YouTube videos on La Réunion. Don't go swimming here. Too many sharks.
As I said, it's a good place for hiking, not to go to the beach.
Got some lovely beaches, but yeah, apparently there's a lot of sharks in the Indian Ocean.
Wasn't the Indian Ocean where Cousteau did his trips with the Calypso years ago when they were researching sharks and whales and everything?
He went everywhere though, Jonathan, I think.
So I hope some of you are in VR.
Yeah.
It's worth doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the sort of thing that VR is really good for. I mean, sat here with the VR on, it's exactly like as if you were really in the airplane. It's extraordinary.
So once you have passed the ridge, you go down, slightly on the left, and try to get the bridge on the left river. You will find it.
Wow, what a sight.
It's quite stunning.
A real visit, that ridge in the middle of that valley.
So we are here in one of the three main, we call them circus. In French, I don't know what is the exact translation. Basically, we're in the middle of the main volcano who created this island.
Yeah, right in the middle of the caldera.
So here we are in the circus of Salazie, which is the name of one of the village over here. Quite remote, as you can imagine.
This is amazing, really nice. And perfect with few clouds as well.
So again, as I said, if you can really aim for the waypoint, usually on the flight display of the aircraft, they try to curve a little bit the thing.
500.
mean waypoint 3?
Let me check. I think it should be this one.
Yeah, I think it's waypoint.
Yeah.
Interesting, there's a lot of false flats around here, isn't there? We're actually going uphill at quite a rate, but it looks like it's level inside the caldera.
About a dozen planes ahead of me that aren't on LittleNavMap.
There are an awful lot of habitations around here. It makes you wonder what on earth these people do.
Yeah, initially, as I said, there was no inhabitant on this island. So initially, they were growing coffee. That was the initial plan. They used the island mainly to grow coffee. But at some point, due to new disease that were brought by other people coming in, it destroyed nearly all the coffee plants. And then they changed and went to grow sugarcane. So today it's mostly, tourism is obviously the first resource now in terms of income, but the main production is sugarcane.
You can't beat it.
And one remaining turmeric farm, I heard as well, because everyone else, all the others got shut down because they couldn't mechanise it.
Aren't the turmeric farms peppered around?
All the rest are on cannabis.
I've got a friend bringing some VR goggles around to see if my system can cope. I think this is a very good candidate.
Cornwall was silly. It got patch on this place.
So the next, we'll just circle a little bit, just do a round so we are together for the next waypoint, because it's getting interesting at the next one. Waypoint number 6.
500.
I'll circle round then 5.
They must have shot a lot of movies in this area, don't you think?
I don't know actually, I have to look for that, yeah. It's kind of Jurassic Park style scenery. So waypoint 6 should be globally just in front of you. It's a very small path. There is a small path in the ridge in front of us. So you just aim for it, and just after, you dive bomb on your left.
500.
This is the first baby Mach loop sequence.
I've done something wrong somewhere on the wrong side of the ring.
Yeah, the other one is a bit larger, it's still okay. We will meet at the end anyway. Just follow the river.
Oh, I see the gap.
So we're gonna reach our first airfield, which was a custom one. So if you're playing on Xbox, not a big deal. You will see it's a very small one, so you can just circle around. And if you have the add-on installed, so we are looking for a very tiny dust strip. It's in the middle of the forest, and I will give an indication on the river, do a kind of elbow. I have no idea about the wind here, so we're just gonna have a low pass and have a look on the windsock. So we have an interesting bridge here.
It's very quiet, everybody's concentrating.
Yeah, and taking in all the scenery.
So follow the river and just take a bit of altitude. It's just to spot the airfield, which should look a bit of brownish in the middle of the trees. Some of the trees are cut. It's a very tiny airfield. I got it.
Quite short too, Emmanuel. I tried landing on it yesterday.
Pretty short, yeah. It's good for touch and go. Not too sure it's okay to land. There is no wind, so I'm gonna circle above it.
I wonder if they used Reunion as the basis to train the AI, you know, because it's very difficult to pick out this data, I would imagine.
What do you mean, the difference of scenery, or?
Yeah, as it between the trees and the buildings and the roads and the rivers. It's probably a really good test case to see if the AI is interpreting things correctly.
And also the height difference is pretty good between the beach and...
Okay, I'm looking for an airstrip.
Well, I've got a band-aid if you need one.
Oh, I think I see it.
But no, that's a road.
It's gonna look like a par 4.
I can see it.
Par 4 is a good.
I spotted the wind.
I think you could pretty much do that runway with a 9 iron, to be honest.
Come on,
I play.
Come on, let's have a go, Jonathan.
Yeah, sand wedge would be better.
Oh, yeah. It's short.
But we're in the right aeroplane for it, at least.
500.
Okay, so we're gonna move to the main active volcano on the island. So the initial volcano which created the island, it was one of the edge of the small circus we've been just before. So the old one is called like a snow peak, Piton des Neiges. And the active one, which is on the other side of the island, is called Furnace Peak. It's one of the most active volcano in the world.
I think I might need to pick some leaves out of my undercarriage.
Those palms at the end were a little tall, weren't they?
They were.
500.
As far as I'm concerned, the trees one departure turns up too many times in this sim.
There's such a range of different sceneries, isn't there, in this island? It's amazing.
So on this leg, basically we follow the coast, and then we're gonna start quite a steep climb because the top of the volcano, and of course we will go in the volcano, is at almost 8,000 feet, if I'm correct. I will circle around the next waypoint. There should be a bridge and a small. There's a small karting karting circuit here. Or racetrack. Racetrack is the right word. I also read that one of the very first name of the island, before it was taken by the French guys, it was named England's Forest, obviously by someone from England.
Such imagination they have.
Wasn't Brian Clough, was it?
Derby.
You'd know if it was if you arrived and the natives all said, "Now then, young man."
Comms check.
He certainly made forests, didn't he?
He should have been England manager.
He should have been.
Okay, so basically we will follow the river, but going upstream.
Got a strange anomaly ahead of me at waypoint 8, some sort of vertical structure.
Okay, the bridge looks like it needs to be flown under.
This one is easy.
So we're sort of flying up this valley, are we?
Yes. That's the second Mach loop thing of this flight.
Beggar's Canyon.
Anybody in a hawk trying to fly this would be at their folly, wouldn't they? They'd never survive. This is worse than the Carrow Gorge.
May just have to watch my live stream, see what happens.
It's like Cheddar Gorge.
It's French, surely become them there.
Cheddar's best.
So now we can start to climb, because we need to reach 8,000 feet.
I'm not the only one who pushed their luck on the cliff a little bit there.
Yeah, well, at least there's water to float on down here.
I noticed you had floats. Actually, you probably would have slid along the wall if you'd got it right.
Usually I do it enough times that, I've got a talent for it, but, not today, I guess.
Okay, I'm just looking for places I can circle to gain some altitude along the way.
Oh, that bridge looks very inviting.
That's what comes of trying to fly under bridges, Jonathan. You should have been climbing.
I'm at 3,000 already, but I'm looking for big spaces, and there's one just coming up where I may circle for a couple of laps.
I'm watching Jonathan because he knows a new cheat.
Oh, I'm not going to use that. It's not new at all. It's always been there. If anybody didn't know this, we always mess around with slew if we crash when we're messing around with an aeroplane. If you hit the key underneath the escape key on a keyboard, by default in Flight Simulator, it will take you up 2,000 feet instantly and fix everything on the aeroplane.
Okay, like a magic repair.
So if you're in trouble, just hit that key. The one that's got like a back tick. That's the programming name for it. Is a back tick on that key.
Oh, the
Tilde.
Yep. Not that I ever need that thing.
The one above the chap key.
I'm at 11,000 feet now.
It's the key to the left of number 1 on the keyboard on most keyboards.
I literally just got to the top and skidded along my wheels.
The one under the chap key. The one above the chap key.
Yes, that's the one.
Will it refill my nitrous?
I have no idea.
Possibly.
I found it by accident. I pressed it by accident one day and it completely ruined my flight. And it got me thinking about what did that actually do?
Just waiting to see everyone in your flight jump 2,000 feet instantly.
So just so everybody knows, the next time I crash, I was just experimenting with that button.
I'm running out of airspeed. I'm going to put this in the floor. I should have turned back there.
Well, I'm struggling at 100%.
Yeah, you need to reach 5,800 to pass. 5,800.
I should have circled back there.
5,806.
Four presses of that key took me to 11,000.
Yeah, if you keep pressing it, you end up out of the atmosphere, and then it's really good fun.
500. Because you've got no air. Is that the volcano ahead of me?
Yeah, we're going directly to the volcano now. Furnace Peak.
Towards 11, yeah.
So, more climbing. At least there's some room here to circle.
I saw the terrain you were flying in and went straight for the Fox 2, the Stage 2 version.
Yeah. I'm going to start circling.
Seen with the contours around this volcano that it's collapsed several times. You know, in on itself.
Okay, I'm going to start circling. There's no way I'm going to make that climb.
Lots of little volcanic vents all around the main volcano.
I'm going to fly around inside the volcano. Everybody wants some toast.
This X-Cup doesn't have mixture, does it? It just has the RPM.
No, it has mixtures, Jonathan.
You have mixture on the left.
That's the left-hand side.
On the left hand, a little red knob on the dashboard.
Oh, on the dash.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I'm running out of blooming power. I didn't notice that. There we go. That's a bit better. To be honest, I've flown the X-Cub like twice ever.
You get the carbon cup, all you have is a throttle. Much easier.
I wonder why I was struggling so badly for airspeed.
Don't forget to lean her off a bit up here, Jonathan.
That's what I've just done.
Just made it. Oh, I don't want to go down there.
So it's feasible to land in the volcano. The issue is to get out. So don't try.
Oh, that's a red rag to a bull with this lot.
Yeah, I've just seen somebody bouncing their way to the bottom. So.
Tried that out on Mount Fuji. Didn't work.
We stayed there for an hour, didn't we?
Could you do like a skateboard run where you roll down one side and flip out of the other?
Well, Lyndon, I tell you.
I was going to say, Lyndon became the expert.
Yeah.
Going for quite over an hour trying to get out.
Going for a repeat.
Is that like a Top Gun Maverick move or something?
It was. He didn't give up, though.
Still there.
Well, we landed on the rim and then decided to go down the slope and see if we could take off, but it didn't work.
Crikey, it's going to be like a flying circus in the cold air, isn't it?
Yeah, it can make weird direction.
I did fly around it 2 or 3 times.
This is so bumpy, there's no hope.
Oh my word. That's just giving me vertigo looking down there.
Does that volcano still spit bricks?
I don't remember if it's just fumes or things, but it's I have to dig a little bit, but it's working quite well. Maintenance is good.
Strange, it has this outer crater as well. It's weird, isn't it?
So let's move to the next waypoint, which is for me the most interesting landing. Oh, touch and go here.
Oh, I can see some aeroplanes tumbling into the bottom of the volcano.
Yeah, get sucked in.
Y key and F4 to get up. Or the magic key, the new one. So the mid-flight pose is not exactly mid-flight. This first part is a little longer. But we're gonna go down towards the south part of the island, and then come back to some of the circus around the first volcano.
So just a shout out to anybody that's watching this on YouTube, if you want a copy of this flight plan or you want to join us on flights, you can go to VirtualFlight.Online on the internet and you'll get instructions there of how to join the Discord server. And then once you're on the Discord server, if you look in the events channel, you'll see Emmanuel's instructions for this flight. And you can download the flight plan and have this fun yourself, or terrify yourself in the same way we are.
Very good textures inside the crater. It's
amazing.
Very
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really, really good. We say this every week, don't we?
We do.
Oh, there's the airstrip. It looks like it's got quite an incline on it.
Yeah, the issue is more what is beyond the airstrip. You have to be realigned.
I'm just circling it, Emmanuel, sussing out whether I ever go or not.
Just went from about 200 foot to 5,000 foot in about 3 seconds. As I went over edge of
If you know Bristol Airport, it's a kind of variant.
So is this the full stop, yeah?
No, touch and go.
Okay.
You can try a full stop, that's the challenge.
So there's no wind, so I could come in from the cliff side, couldn't I? And at least I'll just hit the hedge if I ever run the runway.
Big mountain in the way.
Not plummet to my death into the gorge. Although you could always get some more speed up as you dive off the edge.
pinch off for a few head-ons here by the look of it.
Relax.
Shut up with the 500 warning.
Yeah,
It's a good way to test. It's a good way to test your radio altimeter today.
500.
And so now we are heading west, northwest. We're gonna go across the main valley between the two volcanoes. So that part of the island we were with the Furnace Peak, this area has much more rain and get more water compared to the other part of the island. Because of these big mountains, they kind of stop some of the clouds. So it's very unbalanced in terms of climate.
Seems to be a surprisingly large population for such an isolated island.
And today it's around 900,000. They expect to reach 1 million people on the island by 2030, globally.
That's enormous. I mean, that's a hell of a lot of people to earn a living from tourism.
Yeah, I mean, as it is considered as a French department and local region, obviously they get also more money from the French government compared to other islands that would be totally autonomous.
500.
It's a lot of gift shops.
It's a rather unfortunate name of the town in English, just below waypoint 12.
Haha, yeah.
That was St. Louis. I wonder if that was before the American one.
Just circle once so that we can gather, and of course we follow the valley. Right.
Oh, not bad. Had to run up the grass bank a little bit.
I left FS Realistic on for this flight. I have people screaming every 5 seconds in the aircraft. Okay, so let's go for our next climbing challenge.
I was going to say, how deep can we go into this valley?
I can start climbing now. I've just approached waypoint 13 and I've only just... I don't think I'm going to make 14.
Yeah, let me check. I think we need to reach again something like yeah, it's 7,500. So we need to aim for 800. 8,000, sorry.
There's a gap I can circle around.
Wow, this scene is getting better.
Knife edge on the edge of this mountain. It's amazing. Just enough gap to jump through and circle around. To go.
We're on the Southeast Asia server. I've just seen several people have asked that on the live stream.
Yeah, 7,000 should be enough. Some turbulence when you reach the edge.
Blimey.
can dive into the circus here.
I need to get some altitude before I go over the ridge.
Always helps.
Circling.
I'm going to have to call it a day, guys. Do you know if there's a flight on tomorrow?
Yes, there is. Neil is hosting tomorrow in Peter's stead. He's still under the weather with COVID. We're doing northern Spain, if I remember correctly. So the flight plan he put up earlier this afternoon.
Yeah, cheers. Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.
Yeah.
Last words, no, I'm not.
Yeah, there's a little gap you can just squeeze through it.
It's just gambling with lift and performance.
Stop is runway.
It's the next one, yeah.
Yeah, runway 15. I would suggest with the wind.
So here, this big city in the middle of the crater. It's named Silawos, and the name of the crater is named after that city.
500.
Seeing this sort of terrain makes you realise how temporary the Earth's surface actually is. We all think of it as being a set thing, but it's anything but, of course.
I think the timescales it operates on are quite a lot longer than any of us being around there.
I guess this was below the sea at one time.
They must have had global warming, Dave.
Yeah.
So to reach the next airport, where we're gonna have the full stop, you simply follow the river, and of course, as low as possible.
It's waypoint 15.
It starts, you could have a 15, 16, 17, but anyway, they all reach the same. There is only one river that goes out of the crater. So,
Full stop. On which waypoint is that?
let me check. It's the FMEE.
It's just after waypoint 19.
Yeah, basically we're gonna exit this crater, and then the airport will be almost in front of us.
Okay.
Oh, and there's a very interesting bridge here.
Well, if they used to grow coffee here, it should be nice and fresh, shouldn't it?
500.
Yeah, but I don't know if they have cattle. Maybe locally they still have some coffee plants, but it's definitely not now the main culture of the island. The climate was very good, yeah.
500. 500.
Taking the tourist dollar was probably easier.
500.
It's raining.
Someone's asking where we are flying. Well, the clue's kind of in the title of the YouTube stream.
That's a very tall bridge.
Just say east of Africa.
Well, everywhere's east of Africa, depending on how far away you go.
It's the nearest place. Or is it Madagascar?
500.
Unless you're a member of the Flat Earth Society.
500.
Yes. It always amuses me when people try to argue with them. There's no arguing with somebody who's got a completely unreasonable view of anything.
Exactly.
All the maps I've seen are flat.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, one cat and we have Armageddon.
500.
I just wonder how many of them have satellite TV and understand how it works.
I was rooting for that bloke that was going to prove it by going up in his steam-powered rocket. That was a couple of 3 years ago.
500.
So, this is our mid-flight pose.
500.
As well, I've only got 7% fuel left.
Yeah, we should all refuel here. Hey, almost right on time.
Just seen the
1 hour.
Yorkie truck delivering to somebody in a village here. That probably gives my age away knowing what a Yorkie truck is, doesn't it?
You're spring chicken, Jonathan.
Or if I start singing the theme from the movie Convoy, that really will give my age away.
Certainly will, Rubberduck.
Yeah, my age too.
I get run across that
What's the sheriff's name? I've forgotten his name.
For T Justice.
That was it, Buford T. Justice.
Play with the coconuts, you didn't get the paw.
A Diablo sandwich and a Dr. Pepper and make it snappy.
Oh, my word. I showed that movie to my kids about a couple of years ago, and my youngest, I thought she was going to have an accident watching it. I really did.
What was the name of that movie?
Smokey and the Bandit. Burt Reynolds.
Oh, okay, yeah, I heard of him.
What was the name who played the sheriff?
Jackie Gleason was the sheriff, and Sally Field was the love interest.
Yeah.
Go get a coffee, boys.
Yeah, 10-minute break, and we take off at 10 past. Okay.
I might have to land with air brakes.
It's going to be a nice collection of X-Cup on this airport.
There might be one interloper.
This flying club seems to be a long way from home, eh?
So it looks like people are lining up for runway 15, is that?
15, yes.
I'll be back shortly.
Okay.
Wasn't it a table dragger for a minute there?
Right, I'm going to go and grab a coffee. Oh, that's made my arm ache doing that flight. So on the live stream, Pilot Red Eye said, look, having Flight Club friends looks fun as hell. Well, anybody is free to join VirtualFlight.Online. So if you go to VirtualFlight.Online on the internet, you can find the Discord joining instructions. It's completely free, no requirements, and we just meet up throughout the week, some of us, and then obviously at weekends for these group flights. It's become a tradition. I'm going to go and grab a coffee.
Nice to land with a parking brake in.
David, I finally broke down and got rotor pedals.
Yeah, that's nice.
They arrived, Joe.
Yes, sir. I got them installed yesterday, and I am now unlearning about 600 hours worth of twisting habits. Now I'm back on my feet, I guess, so to speak.
You're going to get into it quick, especially since you've been flying in the real life. And I don't think it's going to take long for you. And it's going to be such a difference, Joe. Congratulations for that.
Yeah, tell a difference. It's much more precise. It's what I was used to for real. And Ellis, I appreciate the recommend. These Logitech pedals are going to serve me nicely. I don't need anything more than this.
Well, those are good. I have those as well.
On the subject of hardware, is it? I take it some people have heard the news about Honeycomb, right?
Yeah, it's all over the internet.
What's happening?
Business disagreement, company gone bust, blah blah blah.
Dear.
Yeah, the founder basically got conned by his business partner. Was the gist of it.
It sounded to me like he was pretty much stealing.
So don't buy Honeycomb at the moment, unfortunately.
It's a shame because it's a great bit of kit.
Some other company could still pick it up.
Well, they're silly if they don't, because they've got a bit of spare cash hanging around. It'd be well worth doing, because I personally think it's the best out there if you like flying GA aircraft. And
maybe Microsoft needs to buy it and brand it.
yeah, well, I go back to FX days and earlier versions of the sim, and I always had and I've still got it, the Logitech joystick. But when Honeycomb brought this stuff out, I did look at the Logitech gear, but some of the adverse comments about the, especially the yoke, the fact that it didn't have the full, radius arc of, in the controls, and then didn't make it quite 100% realistic. When the Honeycomb stuff came out, I just had to have it, and I don't ever regret the decision.
Turtle Beach shirt up and coming.
No thanks. I tried some of their headphones and they fell apart within 6 months, so if their gaming gear's any good, the same as their headphones, I'll be not touching them with bars now.
Okay, so we can take off again and circle around the airport until everyone has taken off.
I mean, so Honeycomb's not without its problems. I was looking at a video the other day, if you're in the jets and you use the reverse levers a lot, and you've got the jet configuration on there. They have a tendency to break the little wires on the reversing switches on the levers. And there's a guy who's got a very good YouTube video out on how to go about fixing it. But yeah, that's the only thing I've seen where people have actually passed a criticism about the durability of the honeycomb stuff.
Yeah, Ellis, the only complaint I had initially about the Logitech rudder pedals is they were sliding around on my carpet. So being a musician and, having, tons of kit for that, I pulled out of my my storage closet one of my huge guitar effects pedal boards, and I Velcroed the thing down to that. Now it ain't moving, so I'm happy camper.
Good idea. Did you get Logitech in the end, did you?
Yes, sir, I sure did. I got the Logitech Pro.
Oh, good.
I've been looking at that.
Don't hesitate. Go get it.
I've got a load of other things I've got to pay for first, so...
all those planes you've got a financing plan for, right, Jonathan?
I have. It's called YouTube videos.
Exactly.
And anything I spend on the YouTube videos can be offset against the tax, which is fantastic.
It's a funded hobby. That's a great thing.
That's the thing. I'm actually feeling quite relieved about everything because I've just submitted my self-assessment tax this week.
So I'm in the this afternoon.
I'm just in the clear now. I know that everything has been paid for and cleared, and it's all transparent, and it's quite a relief actually.
Do you think you might get a refund, Jonathan?
I don't know. You never know with the government, and they'll probably then change their mind 3 times over the next 2 years about whether it should have been a refund or not, but I've been here before.
Yep, send them an arm and a leg and they'll mail you back a few fingers.
Yeah. I mean, luckily it's quite straightforward because the expenses are either aeroplane hardware or aeroplanes or scenery.
Oh, that I could write that off.
Okay, everyone, so we are taking off to reach the second part of the flight.
At some point I'll have to go and buy a 4090 or something similar, whatever it is at the time. And I guess that will be quite the good tax reduction.
To wait for those to become old enough before I get one of those.
Well, same with me really. There's no way I was going to pay what NVIDIA charge when the new hardware comes out. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
1,600, 2,000.
The mad thing is, the cost to OEMs versus buying the graphics card itself, the difference is enormous. You can buy a PC cheaper than you can buy a graphics card.
Yeah, it does seem odd.
I think now Bitcoin is kind of on the wane. The price may drop enormously because, nobody's really making Bitcoin farms anymore.
So you mean to say there could be quite a few reasonable second-hand ones out there, Jonathan?
Yep. Well, not just that. I think the trouble is the kind of the industrial Bitcoin farming setups, they built very specific hardware for it. It wasn't normal graphics cards. They may have bought them but then deconstructed them to steal the components off of them.
Okay, so on our way to the next waypoint, we're gonna follow the south coast of the island. first part of this flight is now quite relaxed. Gonna go back on the Volcano at the end.
I've got the global shipping installed, and it's put quite a nice tanker going along the coast as well, so you can have a look at it.
500.
What graphics card do you run at the moment, Jonathan?
3080 RTX.
I have that one as well.
It's plenty good enough for what I use it for. It's just with 2024 coming, they're obviously going to push the bar further forward, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think you only need anything more powerful at the moment if you're doing VR.
I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah, VR was from. I had a 2070 Super at the beginning, and just for my screen it was just enough, just to be ultra and so on. The VR power needs was just the reason for me to.
Yeah. Well, I bought a new computer when the Sim first came out, and it had a value for money. 2070 Super was the recommended one by the PC builder, and it does a good enough job. But I just, with all the new cards coming out, I'm just wondering whether it's worth upgrading, going to something like a 4060, 4070.
Yeah, the only thing you need to be careful of going to a higher power card is the power supply.
Oh, that's quite adequate, Jonathan. I've got a pretty hefty power supply, and the machine is pretty well spec'd in every other respect.
Yeah, it's just I know that the bigger GPUs require more power, like significantly more.
Yeah, it's 1 kilowatt, I think, for the 4090.
Up goes the power bill.
Yes.
Do you mean
I had.
you mean actually that it draws 1 kilowatt during?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's like having an electric fire on.
I've got a 4090 here because I've got VR, and I can hear the fans whizzing away. In fact, the fans that are cooling the graphics card are louder than the aeroplane in the sim. It's extraordinary.
Well, with my 2070 Super, if I shut the small bedroom door, the spare bedroom door, it gets to 28 degrees in here while I'm flight simming. Ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I don't have to have the heating on in this room at all. It warms it up beautifully.
Yeah.
I had a 3070 previously, and it just didn't cope. It just really couldn't do VR properly at all, whereas the 4090 just slaughters it.
I got kilowatt power pack.
Yeah, but you've got like 38 screens.
It don't run none of them, though, does it?
It doesn't, no. There's just a fuse box in your house. That has to deal with that.
Your own personal substation?
I've only got a 2080 Ti. That was top of the range when I bought it. But I've got an i9 top of the range, which is 600 quid's worth.
I don't think Flight Sim really hits the CPU hard at all, though. It's just the GPU, isn't
It hits one of the logical CPUs of mine really hard. It's like 90%.
My bottleneck was also on the CPU for the GPU.
Bit like
Hopefully
these, yeah.
2024 will solve some of this issue.
3070, it sits about 30 or 40%. That's about it at 1080p.
Okay, I'm going to go on a detour around the edge of the island rather than try to keep climbing, because
Yeah, the next airfield is quite close to the seashore. This one is also quite difficult to spot. It's a very tiny one.
500.
So just looking at the live stream comments, someone saying they don't miss being self-employed because of the tax returns. Luckily, my other half, in a previous career, was a chartered accountant. So she's doing my books for me. Which means I don't get away with anything either.
Yeah.
Does she do the cooking as well, Jonathan?
She does cook, but I tend to do all the washing up, so it's a fair trade. I can cook as well, my repertoire is quite limited. I've got the typical bloke menu of spaghetti bolognese, chili, the odd roast dinner.
Nothing wrong with that, Jonathan.
100.
So she doesn't cook the books then?
No. No, that's the problem. Accountants tend to follow the rules. They're a nightmare to play board games against as well.
500.
Play Monopoly, you can rob a bank.
No, you can try to.
Well, I mean, your granddad, she
Yeah, I
was
know.
always out.
But you try to do that against an accountant at the end of the game, they'll suddenly get a furrowed brow and say, hang on a minute, this doesn't add up. And then they forensically go through everything you did during the game.
500.
Well, then you can just say, that's okay, I work for the post office.
It was a bug. Oh, actually, no. I completely refute that there was a bug.
I thought Jiu-Jitsu was a martial art.
Oh, here we go.
They made PCs in the day.
They did. Many years ago, I had an interview with them, and I didn't actually go to the interview and took an interview with somebody else and got the other job. And the agent was furious with me, but looking at what's happened to Fujitsu now, I'm actually quite happy I never ended up working for them.
I think Siemens bought them, right?
I don't know.
It's a Siemens Fujitsu now. Maybe they didn't bought all the complete.
I was going to say,
divisions.
it's a bit of a sweeping statement to say I'm happy I didn't work for them, because obviously they're an enormous company. And they've probably got different units all over the world doing different things.
Can you remember Victor PCs, Jonathan?
Yeah.
We went to the assembly place where they were building them, and they used to use rubber mallets to put the case on because the cards, the extension cards in the motherboard was too tight.
Oh my word. That doesn't surprise me, actually.
Aye. A bunch of people with rubber mallets to force the case on, put the bolts in.
I remember those days building PCs and putting expansion cards in and setting IRQ addresses and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yes, when you used to brag about having that extra little bit of memory.
Oh yeah, I was an expert at that.
And those jumper pin things.
So I just missed the airfield.
So the airfield is it's a ground, typical, purely ground. Only touch and go. There is no wind from what I see from the windsock.
So the same guys just replied on the live stream about not being able to get away with anything if your other half's an accountant, or your other half with flight sim purchases. It reminded me, did everybody see the cartoon that was flying around a couple of weeks ago? The guy that was cooking and doing the washing up, and his wife turned around and says, "Okay, what is it you want to buy?"
Yeah, I saw that one. Exactly.
Okay, I've got visuals on the airfield. Oh, that is a good one.
So they only use it for very light aircraft here.
So are we approaching from the ocean side? We'd have
You can do it from the other side. It works quite well.
Okay.
Managed to swap me Hawk for an NX Cub.
Should have done that at the beginning of the flight.
No, I was going too fast. 150, 110 knots, flying full flaps, full power, spit tree.
Oh, there's a nice bridge down there to go under. Good game.
Yeah, they have quite a heavy one here in terms of bridge on that part.
Well, there's a couple of them by the look of it.
Yeah, I'm looking for gaps through the trees to do this approach from this side.
500.
I've got to go through there.
So for the next leg, we have a bit of altitude constraint because the next waypoint is at 8,000 feet, almost between 7 and 8,000 feet. So you have to start climbing right now, and it should be okay. So. So a good rate will be 1,500 a minute.
Yeah, watch your cylinder head temperatures.
Oh, yes, that bridge needs to be done.
Yeah, I've learnt my lesson of going under bridges and then trying to climb to 8,000 feet.
I'm about to learn, Jonathan, by the look of it.
Couldn't resist it.
Couldn't resist the bridge, and now I'm trying to climb out of a blooming...
You might have to get out and push, Ellis.
So it's also quite an interesting perspective here because it looks like we are flying flat horizontally, and in fact we are just following the slope of the big mountain.
Climbing quite significantly. Sideways, which is the better way to turn. There isn't a better way.
Yeah, if you target 90 in terms of airspeed, normally it's okay. It will reduce at the end, but normally we have enough gap to go above the range.
Going under that bridge was not a good idea, Jonathan.
The thing I always find fascinating on the more realistic aircraft in the simulator is often reducing the RPM on the propeller results in more thrust. So it's only under very specific circumstances that maximum RPM actually helps.
Well, each propeller has a specific RPM at which it's most efficient.
Yep.
Of course, it depends on the angle of the blade and all that sort of thing.
Yeah,
So
strike
it's
pressure.
so it certainly is unlikely to be at maximum revs.
I guess it's a bit like a boat propeller, isn't it? Where if you overdrive them, they just cavitate and they don't grab the water anymore.
Yep.
You hear about these Olympic swimmers as well, where they say some days they can put the effort in and they can feel the water somehow. They can grab the water with their hands, you know, and they're not losing it. And it makes a tiny amount of difference, and then that's how they get the world records.
Or like snaking up the hill.
I listened to what Emmanuel said. I'm trying to give myself a nice shallow climb. I'm about 85 knots at the moment, just under, so I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah, I'm down to 70 and not sure I'm gonna make it.
I think I'm going to circle.
Flaps now. It's just climbing enough.
I'm going to watch my attitude indicator and go and do a great big wide circle.
So it's definitely above 7,000.
7, 8, I'm just going over the top.
Okay, so target for 8,000.
I'm going to fly parallel for a while.
500.
I'll circle around.
You have some room to circle around. Yeah, 8,000.
Gosh, that's dramatic when you go over the edge of the volcano.
Just in front of us, we have the highest mountain, the Snow Peak, which is at the center of the 3 different circus or craters.
Oh, spectacular.
This is quite good fun. I'm just backtracking along the slope, watching everybody struggling up the slope.
VX seems to be somewhere around 70 knots, what I can see.
this highest mountain is 10,000 feet.
Yeah, almost. It's the tallest point of the island.
This is amazing. Wow. Really, really nice.
So this is a crater of Mafat, which is the third one. And in the center we have this high peak, the snow peak.
Oh, there's a bit of a rush when you go over the edge.
500.
It looks fantastic in VR.
It does.
Oh my word. Oh my.
That looks good on screen as well.
I can't believe there's a village down there in the crater. I mean, why the heck is that there?
Yeah, there is a helipad also in that one of the company who is organizing hiking tours and helicopters too, based there. And so to exit, we will simply follow the river again. So this crater is more remote compared to the other. As you can see, there is a few houses, but not big village like you have the other one.
You only get a sense of scale when you see another aeroplane. You think you're quite close to a cliff, and then a mile away from you there's another aeroplane that's still this side of the cliff.
Yeah, I saw that myself.
That's just madness.
So unofficially, there is an airstrip down in that river. It's a little away, but I couldn't find correct mapping of it just to make it. It's a little away. So, but some of the local pilots can land their ultralight aircraft here and take off again.
I think flights like this really reinforce that sometimes it is good to get into a slower aeroplane and just go exploring. I think I may have just found this unofficial strip. There's a patch of riverbank that's been cleared.
500.
Yeah, I tried a few of them, but it's not leveled, so
Okay.
I have to rework and name it as an airfield. Otherwise, you bump over.
see what you mean. There's some ridges in the middle of it.
So for the touch and go, we can do a double touch and go. What I mean is that you have in fact two runways which are quite away one from the other. One is the main one and there is a very tiny one on the right. So we can do touch and go on the left one, going to the sea, and then back and do a second touch and go.
I've discovered the X-Curb has very benign stalling characteristics, which is kind of interesting. If you want to lose height very quickly, the way to do it is to stall it.
And it also behaves wonderfully well when you cross-control it.
Yeah, I used that on an earlier airfield and came in completely crossed up on purpose through the gaps in the trees.
Okay, there it is. I couldn't find it.
So does the route go underneath the motorway bridge there?
I chose the wrong one. Oops.
I'm going to touch and go in the sea as well for that. Oh, I see the other runway.
Well, for next week, we're going to do it's going to be opposite week from this weekend. We're going to do low and fast. So we're taking the reverse route of our Grand Canyon trip that we did I guess it was about 2 months ago. I've added a couple of waypoints to it or adapted some of the fields out. And we'll be using high-speed jets. So if you're looking forward to a need for speed, then next Sunday is for you.
Sounds great, Joe.
Sounds like fun.
I get to try my Raphael out.
I think I'll take the
Okay, so we're heading now for the... Sorry, second. Okay, so we start for the last leg. We're gonna follow the coast.
Just a reminder to everybody on the flight tonight, Emmanuel has kindly stepped in and organised this flight, so anybody can organise a flight at VirtualFlight.Online, so anybody can create an event on any day at any time. It's only through kind of accident that we've ended up always doing a Sunday night flight, and I guess people like to have something to plan around as a group, but there's nothing to stop you if you're in a different time zone or a different part of the world to organise flights whenever you want and put them in the event calendar in the Discord server.
And if you want something to do, that's where you go to have a look to see what's going.
Yep, there's usually 6 or 7 things coming up. If you know a particular part of the world very well, that usually lends itself really well to doing a group flight.
Yeah, an outsider looking in on this on the first time would wonder if it is actually organized.
It's organised in the same way that Total Chaos is organised.
I was going to say quite by accident, Jonathan.
There's a famous thing with software development, the cathedral and the bazaar. Where you might think of an airline as a cathedral, we are very much the bazaar.
So for your info, there is one major thing which is missing in the sim currently here. You see we have a really big cliff at the edge of the island in that area. You can see there is a motorway going just on the edge between the sea and the cliffs. Currently we are building here a motorway which go around the island. And it's a motorway which is built in the sea, or on the sea, should I say. And this is claimed to be one of the most expensive motorway in the world if you consider the cost per kilometer. I think we are at more than 100 million euro per kilometer. So it's being built. Some of the sections were already tested. I'm not sure everything is open. And it goes just around because it's the main connection between the industrial city we just left and the main city of the island on the north side.
I'm sure ferries would be cheaper.
I think for those in the UK, the Grand Tour or Top Gear, one of those two did a special out here when they were looking at that.
Exactly.
If that was left to the English government, they'd only build half the railway or half the road. What I mean is halfway, and then they'd stop it.
Sounds like our lot, David.
Well, we got used to it.
Well, if it's the Italian government, they'd build it halfway and pocket the rest of the money.
Yeah, but the other half the money here, they promised to build a road up north. And they scrap that bit. As long as they can get from their homes to London, they're happy.
I think it's a fair bit more complicated than that.
Well, I've got one, but it's like the BBC.
No politics on the channel.
BBC's not political.
No, but you're becoming political.
Well, you can't spell politics without ticks, which are bloodsuckers.
Well, at least we shifted to a dad joke.
Yeah, we haven't had a dad joke all day, have we? Not since last week, anyway.
Yeah, it's usually the unofficial dad joke.
There is the start of the new motorway, which is visible at the end. You can see some kind of additional artificial ground, which is made in the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we start seeing building and things, we're gonna quickly escape back into the forest. And And there's a bridge.
How high?
Actually, it's a valley again, isn't it? Are we safe to stay down in the valley? Or?
At the beginning, it's okay. After, you need to climb.
Yeah, I'm climbing now. I've learnt my lesson.
Oh, I'm going to be adventurous.
I'm trading in my airspeed for altitude immediately.
What airspeed?
Well, 30 knots worth of it.
Oh, well, that's not so bad. I've still got this cub nowhere near 420 knots yet. I'm a bit disappointed.
It always makes me laugh when you watch live streams with the ex-military jet pilots flying the Mach loop, and they're doing like 400 knots and going on and on about how airspeed is your friend to get out of trouble. But the hills in the Mach loop are only 1,000 feet tall. So 2 seconds after lifting the nose, you're out of the Mach loop.
It's very true.
Yeah, I think the definition of trouble though is when the engine stops working and they need the height.
Yeah, and you need, yeah, that's a good point actually. To be able to glide even back to Lambeda, you'd need to get to 6,000 or 7,000 feet pretty much immediately.
Yeah. Well, you usually get 25,000 feet a minute easily in the Hawk without trying. Don't pass out when you pull the stick straight back.
The thing that always strikes me when you see a real Hawk parked up on the ground in front of you is what a heavy little lump of a plane it really is.
Yeah.
With tiny little stubby wings.
And now it changes into a brick at under 130 knots.
Yeah, it really does, just falls out of the air, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's all about the power of thrust.
Yeah. Of course, the Starfighter cheats because it puts some of that thrust over the wing.
So yeah, we shall start climbing now.
I'm going to make it.
So Paul Bolton is asking, what is the Discord group? It's VirtualFlight.Online. If you go to VirtualFlight.Online on the internet, there's a link there to Discord, and it will have all of the joining instructions. It's, but completely by accident, become one of the bigger Discord groups. And somehow we've managed to avoid a lot of the trouble that some of the others, like the official Microsoft one, seem to attract. We are good at banning people that cause trouble, though.
Just gonna make it. Screw my wheels on the top again.
I'm back into that dramatic scenery again.
I was just going to say, what's the optimal climb speed for the Cub? NX Cub?
So you,
I don't know.
Wow, another big jump.
You need to reach 5,000.
And also start about 30 minutes ago.
Although when you get over this ridge, you can reach your 400 knots by just nosediving into the ground.
Oh, I've just seen somebody stack it at the top of the ridge.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Just about going to squeak it, I think.
We've just cleared it at 7,600.
Looks like quite a few circling in the large sort of basin there, trying to get home.
Certainly am. 70 knots or so.
If you take a
seems to
slight
be
left, you
reasonable.
get another slightly extra length to get over the top.
We should put a disclaimer on Emmanuel's flight plans that if you suffer from vertigo,
Or claustrophobia when you come through the valley.
yeah.
I actually suffer from vertigo, but not in aircraft.
Can I claim from burst eardrums?
I was lucky. I just came to the edge of a valley and I was literally at the right height to go through the little gap. It's amazing. Circle round again, good ahead.
The inland scenery is just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the best I've seen yet for sort of the valleys and cliffs, etc.
Manuel, what's the best route for visiting for you from North America?
Sorry, a bit
Sorry,
quiet.
I didn't get it. Yeah.
Jim,
Can you say again?
What's the better route for commercial airlines, North America to Reunion to visit?
Usually you will have I don't know if you have direct one, or maybe through Dubai or Qatar. Otherwise, you have to go through Paris. As it is a French territory, you necessarily have connection directly from Paris, or possibly Amsterdam.
Thank you.
500.
Yeah, Paul, if you get a chance, just turn your mic gain up a little bit. You're a bit quiet.
C ILS 110.3.
Oh, that's a spectacular view.
It is, isn't it?
Just popped over the ridge with a about 80-degree bank. It just fell away. It's awesome.
So this is the first crater we were after the wind turbine.
Aha. Dropping back down in.
And to finish, a very last flavor of McLoop to end directly on our final airport.
Yeah, in order to lose a lot of height very quickly, I'm going to do the little stalling thing here. It'll be fun.
Yeah, dropping all the flaps and losing down.
It sidesteps pretty well as well.
Let's try this stalling thing.
Oh yeah, going down at 6,000 feet a minute here.
Is that open or do you have the flaps up for that stall?
Well, you can do either, but the trick, of course, is to pull the throttle right back, push the nose up, and then just let it drop. And if you go into a spin, it'll go down even quicker.
That's
Auto
if you
control,
haven't
right?
Open the doors and put your feet out. Bit of air brake.
Yeah, full flap and power off, it comes down quite nicely.
Actually, in the last few days, I've been practicing spin recovery techniques quite a lot on the computer, because I read an article to the effect that Beechcraft aircraft of which of course there are a couple in the sim, are impossible to recover from a flat spin. Whereas of course most aircraft, particularly training aircraft, you can recover relatively easily. In fact, it's absolutely true. You try putting a beach Baron into a flat spin, and you just can't get out of it, and you pancake into the ground. It's incredible. And there have been a few cases recently of beach Barons that have crashed because of this reason. Whereas an aircraft like this X-Cub recovers from a spin very, very simply just by letting go of the controls. You don't even need to put any rudder in.
Well, the advantage of higher wing.
And of course a big tail. That's great rudder authority.
That's strange, my engine's died and yet I've still got fuel.
That's the thing that impressed the thing that impressed me most about DCS when I first tried it a few years back was the Spitfire, because obviously a Spitfire has a tiny little tail, so most of your time flying, dogfighting with it is spent keeping the tail behind the front of the plane with enormous rudder inputs while dogfighting.
Very strange. So I'm upside down in the river now.
Done ILS, runway 15, the 14, sorry.
The river's taking me downstream, so I'll end up at the airport. So, see you in a minute.
It's not far away.
Time for Harrison Ford.
There is some room to do it.
So I want to piggyback on one of the things that Jonathan mentioned a few minutes ago about anybody being able to schedule a flight, and to continue to add to the collection of things that we're doing here as a group. I am planning on starting a Saturday at every other Saturday starting on February the 10th, and I'm concentrating on my favorites, of course, which are big radials. So starting with the DC-3, and we'll work our way through that, and then if we find something else as a group that we would like to do that's related to that particular swim lane, we'll give it a shot. But looking forward to taking part with that with everybody starting on February the 10th.
Sounds great. Thanks.
I've realised what was wrong. I had half my fuel left, all in one wing.
500.
Is the DC-10 a standard aircraft in the sim, or is it an add-on?
DC-10 or DC-3?
DC-3. It's a 40th anniversary aircraft, so it's one of those that Microsoft, I guess, partnered to have added to the sim.
Was it Aeroplane Heaven that made it?
Yes. And there's also an add-in that you'll want to get for it to make it behave a little bit better. I think it's DuckWorks. It's on FlightSim.to.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a joy. It actually inspired me to go out and get the Beach 18, so I picked that up a few days ago and have been flying that around as well, having some fun with that.
Like, it is very fun. Did you get that mod for it?
For the Beach? No, I haven't had a chance to download it yet.
Yeah, it's mainly systems, but yeah, it'll advise you to keep an eye on your oil temperature a little bit closer.
That's good. It'll teach you a lesson like the Kodiak, huh?
Yeah.
Right, gonna have to dash. Thanks very much. I forgot your name, Emmanuel, for a moment, and see you next time. Thanks, everybody.
No problem. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks for this. Thanks for the flight, Emmanuel.
Yeah,
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, spectacular.
Thanks for the flight.
Thanks. Like you enjoyed that.
Merci, monsieur.
Avec plaisir.
Yeah, Emmanuel, I think this one wins the scenery award. My goodness, what a gorgeous experience this was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll second that. Thank you, Emmanuel.
This makes the Grand Canyon look like a ditch.
Big ditch
that goes on forever, right?
I've got to admit, Canyon's a big ditch. A very big ditch.
You're not allowed to compare, guys. You have to respect everything for what it gives us and be grateful.
Yep. And this was a great one tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, sure was.
Yeah, thanks for this one. Good night, everyone.
Yeah, good night.
Good night.
Yeah, really good, thanks.
Good night.
Yep, I'm going to pull the plug, so night night from me and him.
Merci beaucoup, Emmanuel, et bonne chance et bonne nuit.
Merci, bonne nuit.
Hey, thank you, Emmanuel. Bye.
Okay, I'm going to stop the live stream there and log off as well. So thank you, everybody. That was fantastic.
Well done. Well